so I thought I would do a recommendation video of all of the books that I've read. There's a few that I haven't read yet, but I do want to read them. Of all the books that I've read that had virgin heroes. Now, that's one of, I'd say, probably one of my favorite tropes is a virgin hero, because a lot of times when you read, especially historical romances and stuff like that, you see a lot of the virgin heroines. It just gets kind of repetitive, where it's like, oh, another virgin heroine, you know? So I like to see when a hero is a virgin. So I just recently read a book where the hero was a virgin, and I really love that one. So I wanted to recommend other books. So the first one, let's go with the number one. The first one I would say would be Kimberly Reese, Nerdgasm. This, I believe it's a college romance. I've read this one a couple of times. This one was so sweet. It's more of a novella length, but I really like this one a lot. Like I said, it was college age people. I believe the hero was more of like kind of a nerdy kind of guy. And so the heroine was definitely more of the... She was more of the extrovert. He was more of the introvert. She was a little bit more of the, I wouldn't say aggressor, but you know, like she's the one that was like, oh, you know, like this guy's attractive. And she's the one that I'd say pursued him, you know, not the other way around, because he was a little too shy and introverted to pursue her. So I'll just say that. But I really, really like that one. I've read it twice and it's really good. It's a really good romance. So the next one I would say is, I'm trying to go with like one, you know, like from like one author. The next one I would say Jessica Cain, Hefty. This one here is more of a high school age romances, and I'm trying not to read a lot of those myself because they're kind of creepy, you know, like especially like these are high school kids, you know. But I really liked this one here. The hero is more chubby, and that's the thing I liked about it, is that a lot of times you read like these romances and the dude's all buff and, you know, all big and everything. So I actually liked the fact that this guy was more plus size, you know. I thought it was sweet. Jessica Cain's more of like hit or miss for me, and she since has stopped writing. So I did really enjoy that one. The next one I'll say is I'm trying to mark off as I go. So next one I would say is Katie Regnery. I think that's what her name is, Regnery. This one's called Unloved. It has to do with the heroine. I believe some guy was trying to kill her or sexually assault her, and the hero saves her and ends up bringing her to his like cabin in the woods. And so it's very much like forced proximity. And I'll say like it's called Unloved because he has this past where he didn't do anything, but someone in his family did very bad things. And so, you know, he kind of like isolates himself because of it. But it was good. It was very emotional. The heroine had to very much like reassure him, you know. But it was good. I really enjoyed that one. So the next one I would say would be Helen Huang, The Bride Test. This one here I really liked because the hero was, people say like neurodivergent, but he's basically autistic. And his mother basically gets like a, what are those, like brides from another country. She basically gets him a bride from another country. So it's him, it's more of like kind of like an arranged marriage type of thing. And so he's getting to know his wife and everything. But it was really sweet. I actually liked that one. So the next one I would say would be Shea Savage. This is Transcendence. Now, this is a time travel one, and it takes place where she's in like a regular time and she ends up getting transported into caveman times and ends up being rescued by this caveman, and he can't really speak because, you know, back in the day, during that time, we didn't have language yet. Our brains didn't evolve for that yet. So it was mainly just grunts or little sounds and things like that. So they definitely have a communication issue, but it ends up resolving, you know? So it was really sweet because he really, you know, was like, oh, I'm not by myself anymore, you know? And he was really attracted to her. But yeah, he was a virgin when she got together with him. But that was really sweet. I really liked that one a lot. There was also a novella attached to this too. That was really sweet as well. The next one, I actually don't remember this book, but I did read it. So this is Jen Frederick Sacked. It had to do with, I believe it was a football romance. But again, I don't remember it, honestly. But I know I liked it because I ended up giving it a good rating. But I want to say, like, obviously it was the football player that he was obviously a virgin. But I don't remember why he was a virgin. But I did like the book, though. Obviously, yeah, but I just don't remember it. You know, it's been a while since I've read it. The next one I'd say I really liked was SM La Violette. This is Melissa and the Vicar. This is part of the Seducers series. And the Vicar, he's the one that was a virgin. You know, he obviously, you know, decided to refrain from sex because he's more of a religious man. And Melissa is, she's a lady of the night. I'll just say that, you know, a lady of the night that she now owns a brothel. And so he meets her in this other town and they get to know each other and fall in love. It was really sweet. I did enjoy that one a lot. So the next one I will say is this one here was one I got for free when I signed up to the author's newsletter. So you got to sign up for her email in order to get the book. So this is Lydia Lloyd, When the Lord Adored Me. So it's like 3.5 in the Rake Chronicles. And I thought this was very sweet. Basically, the hero adored the heroine and only wanted her. So this is why he was basically a virgin. And so she had actually had sex before while she was away with her, I think it was her mom, while she was away with her mother, touring, you know, the country and all that stuff. And she decided to give, you know, her virginity up to this other man. And then she kind of like regretted it because she was like, oh, I should have saved myself for the hero, because she deep down, she was like, she realized like, I love the hero. Like, he's my best friend and I love him. And so she goes back to London and, you know, she basically, they kind of like do like a 12 Days of Christmas type of thing. And they decide to have like this affair, and it, you know, turns into more than that. But it was really sweet. I really liked that one there. The other one I would say is J. Wolf. This is Save One Thing. This is called The Savage Academy. This is book number 1. They're actually both virgins. So I thought I would add that in. But I also like the fact that he was a virgin as well. But yeah, I thought it was sweet. It was a sweet one. He definitely was, I'd say, a little clingy to her. So if you don't like a hero that's very clingy, you may not like this one. But I did really enjoy that book right there because of them, you know, basically both being virgins. So the next books I would say is Mia Sheridan. We have Archer's voice and Most of All You. I don't honestly remember Most of All You, but I remember Archer's voice. And I know that he was a mute hero, and he was more of an outcast in the town. And he basically kind of like was a recluse and lived on his, I think it was his uncle, maybe, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I've read the book. But yeah, he was a virgin hero. And then Most of All You, like I said, I don't even remember this one. But I clearly read it because I had it marked red, and, you know, it was rated like 4 stars. But like I said, I have no idea. I don't remember the story and all that stuff. But the hero was another virgin. So the next one, I would say, for this one here, I'd say this series, Naomi Lucas, all of her heroes in the Naga Brides are virgins, you know, basically. With maybe the exception of, like, if there's like any new books that she comes out with, they might not be virgins, but pretty much all the snake hybrids are virgins. You know, they haven't had any mates, so them getting together with like human women and all that stuff and mating with them. But I will say, like, trigger warnings for this series here. I love the world building, but I'm not really a huge fan of a few of the couples, because the way the male's anatomy is, they have like these knots, you know, like what they call a knot, you know, for the guy's peens and all that stuff. And so for like the first or second time of like with the females, they have to, like, you know, really work on getting it in, you know. Yeah, I would say that. So if you're not really into that type of thing, you may not like this series, but I love the world building in this. And there were like the few books that I would say I was more of a fan of than some of the other ones. But I do like the series. I do really like the series. And like I said, all of the heroes are pretty much virgins. Like maybe 1 or 2 of them may not be, but all of them pretty much are. And so when them like getting a woman and everything like that, and they have to learn the woman's body and all that stuff. So I'd say if you're into, like, you know, snake hybrids and all that stuff, then you probably would like this series. The next one I would say is Ruby Dixon. When it comes to the Ice Planet Barbarians, Ice Home series, and then she has a few other series, I would say most of the heroes are virgins. You know, most of them are virgins. I would say some of my favorites, though, are Barbarian's Alien, Barbarian Mind, Barbarian's Mate, Barbarian's Prize, Barbarian's Taming, The King's Spencer Bride. That's a different series from Ruby Dixon. The hero was a virgin. He was basically saving himself for the heroine. Veronica's Dragon is a part of, like, the Ice Home series. And then we have Devi's Distraction, which I believe is Ice Home as well. Those ones I really liked, you know, out of like all the, there's like other ones too I really enjoyed too, but those are definitely like favorites of mine. So yeah, like I said, most all the men don't know what they're doing, and it's the women who are basically teaching them about like their body and like what they like, what they don't like, and all that stuff. But I really love a lot of Ruby Dixon's, like the heroes and all that stuff, because they are, you know, like learning the woman and everything. So I like all those. The next, that's the last one I'll talk about when it comes to, because it goes into a few other books that I haven't read from this author. So Lorraine Heath has 3 that I know of, romances that have a virgin hero. Now, one of them I've read. I read the Outlaw and the Lady. I actually don't remember that the hero was a virgin hero, but, you know, I found it on the list that he actually was. I'm like, I don't remember. Now that I'm like, I when I read that book, I'm like, I don't even remember he was a virgin hero, but he obviously was. But the other two books that she has is The Scoundrel in Her Bed and A Matter of Temptation. Those other two books have it to where the hero is a virgin. So I did like that. Or I'm going to read those. I'll read those. And then there's one that's by Melanie Moreland. It's called Read. I put that on my list. I don't know what it's about, but I do like Melanie Moreland, so I figured I probably will end up reading her series. But this one here, there's a virgin hero. And then another Mia Sheridan is called Savaged. I did want to read that one, and it has a virgin hero in it. So she obviously likes virgin heroes too. Courtney Milan is another one where I found that she actually, it's called Unclaimed. I haven't read this one yet, but I do have a physical copy of it. I do need to get to Courtney Milan. I keep putting her off. But this hero is supposedly a virgin hero. And then I found a Beverly Jenkins book that's called A Chance of Love, where the hero is a virgin as well. So those ones I do plan on reading. Hopefully soon. We'll see how I feel. But I do love this trope. This is probably like one of my favorite tropes, is a virgin hero. But yeah, I want to do more recommendation videos. So I would say, like, if you have a trope or whatever it is that's like one of your favorites that you would like recommendations from, let me know down below in the comment section. I'll probably, I'll try to get like that one, done as quick as I can. But these are like, I would say most, because like I said, the few ones that I haven't read, but these ones here are all like pretty much like ones that I really enjoyed reading. And I definitely want to keep reading, virgin heroes, because I like that. Because I'm like, sometimes I just don't always like reading about a man who's had like how many women, sometimes I just like don't always like that. So there are times I like to see a man who is, hasn't had any experience and gets together with this heroine. He's like, I want to be, have her be my first. And it's just, I think it's sweet, I think it's very sweet. But yeah, that's it for this video here. Have yourselves a good day. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to each other. And I'll see you all on the next video. All right. Bye.